directing a show all by myself. I had a little bit of a quick run during House of Dramatics, and so it was just wonderful because I really got to give my own artistic edge to this with Kirkley's guidance. It was just wonderful. Thank you to Joyce and Coleman, all three of the directors. You guys are superstars because I truly kind of got to see how hard their jobs really are. Thank you to my awesome technicians because the show would not look as pretty as it does without them. My wonderful actors, I'm so proud of how much they've grown and how they've really just brought my image to life. But I hope that you all enjoy this show. Enjoy Women of Lockerbie. Thank you.
Sweetheart!
Mrs. Livingston!
Maddie, can you hear me, please?
Are you sure she's out here?
Yes, I saw her running in this direction. She's roaming the hills again, looking for our son's remains. It's all she's been doing since we got here. Morning, noon, and night, it's all she does. Maddie! You know, it was all I could do to get her to come to the memorial service. But now she runs out of the church, doesn't even put her coat on. She'll catch the death of a cold if we can't find her.
We'll find her, don't worry. I've lived in Lockerbie my whole life, and I know these hills like I know myself. Mrs. Livingston! Come on, love, come back to us!
It's a hell of a night to be out, cold and damp.
When the fog clings like this to the hills at night, it means the morning will be clear.
It's been 7 years since the crash. 7 long years, and she still can't put aside her grief. She just comes home from work, goes straight to the living room couch, and weeps all day. She can't stop or won't. I didn't think it was possible for two eyes to cry so many tears, but it is. I've seen an ocean pour from those eyes.
There is no greater sorrow than the death of a child.
No, there's not. He was our only child. He was 18 years old.
Adam Alexander Livingston.
You know his name?
Everyone in Lockerbie knows the names of everyone who died.
Everyone in Lockerbie is very kind. You are very kind. I'm at my wit's end here.
I know you are, love. We all are.
Olive! Over here! Olive, is that you?
Hi!
Oh! You're Mr. Livingston, aren't you?
Yes.
Have you found her?
No.
We saw her run from the church in the middle of the service. We were worried.
We saw her roaming the hills this afternoon.
Yesterday too, and the day before.
We can now, let's spread out and continue to look for her.
No, I think we should stay right here. This is the place that she keeps coming back to.
All right, that's what we'll do.
Olive, we got word from Hattie down at the warehouse.
What's the news? The mayor came out to the meeting with Mr. Jones. Has Mr. Jones announced what he's going to do yet?
No, but he's revealed his plans to the mayor. Olive, they're going to burn the clothes.
Burn the clothes? Everything in the shelves of sorrow will be incinerated at dawn. I was afraid something like this was going to happen.
They're going to burn the clothes of the victims.
The clothes of the victim. I didn't know there were any.
It's quite a lot, actually. Over 11,000 articles.
Why is Mr. Jones going to burn them?
Government procedures.
The American government have petitioned the authorities to hand over the clothing to us.
We want to wash the clothes and return them back to the victims' families.
Shouldn't the families get the right to choose for themselves? Some may not want them. I know that I, for one, would not want them. They'd just be bringing up things that are better left alone.
Each family can decide for themselves.
Aye, but not for the families, but for ourselves as well.
We want to give love to those who have suffered.
You do? Why?
So evil will not triumph. Your government has not been very responsive, I'm sorry to say.
They sent a man from Washington, Mr. Jones. George Jones. To shut down the warehouse. He won't return our phone calls.
He's too busy to bother with us women. He's only been here for 2 weeks. He doesn't understand the situation.
Olive, it seems you're needed with more important business in town. Don't let me keep you.
No, it's best that I work from behind the scenes.
If Mr. Jones catches wind that Olive's around, he'll call in the Scotland Yard. When he first arrived in Lockerbie, she cornered him in the market. When he tried to leave, she grabbed his arm and began to yell.
Oh, I didn't yell.
Oh, Olive, you yelled.
I spoke forcefully, with great conviction. Besides, I need to be here with you. Your wife struggles with grief. It's a struggle that we all share, and it threatens to tear us apart too.
Maddie!
Is that her?
Yes, Maddie, over here!
Where is she?
There!
Oh, poor thing.
Look how she wonders her spirit's broken.
It breaks my heart to see.
Adam!
Maddie!
Oh no! Adam is here. I can feel him. He's here.
Maddie, put your coat on.
When I walk over these hills, I can feel him.
That's good.
If only I could find him. If only I could find some part of him, like a bone, the bone from his chin. I would know it if I saw it. What I would give just to talk to him. Even if it was just to say, put away your socks, and hear him say, Mom. Do you remember how he used to roll his eyes at me and say, Mom?
Yes, I remember that. I also remember how mad you'd get when he'd do that.
I never got mad.
Yes, you would. You'd give him this look, and you'd say, don't mom me. Where are you going?
To find him.
You can't find him, Maddie. There's nothing to find. The bomb went off in the compartment under his seat. Everyone in that part of the plane vanished. You know that.
There has to be some part of him somewhere.
Maddie!
Mr. Livingston, you cannot reason with grief. It has no ears to hear you. Let her walk the hills and tread her grief into the ground. Do you think you should go with her?
No, if I do that, I'll just make things worse.
All right. We'll stay nearby and wait for this to run its course.
The candlelight procession has begun. They're going to this town square for the all-night vigil.
Some are going up to Lamb's Hill to pray. Oh, used to be. We used to celebrate on that wall, remember?
Aye, the solstice. This day is no longer a day of celebration. It's a day we pray for the dead.
The solstice isn't something we have in New Jersey. I don't know why.
It's because you're in the middle of
The middle?
the earth, away from the extremes of darkness and light.
Look, your wife. What is she doing?
She's talking to herself again. She's been doing that a lot lately.
What does she say?
She goes over and over the moment that it happened. Over and over the moment he died in that crash. Just like she's going over these hills now, but with words. Going over and over.
Grief needs to talk.
Well, I've stopped listening. I can't take it anymore.
Let us talk to her.
Yes, and let us listen to her. We haven't heard her story before.
What is old to you is new to us. Who knows? Maybe we'll find something in what she says that can help her.
By all means, go ahead. I'll give anything a try.
Mrs. Livingston, may we talk to you?
You
Yes.
Want to talk to the crazy lady, huh?
No,
Man.
that is not why we're here.
It's all right if it is. It's all right, too, if you think I'm crazy. I am.
We don't think you're crazy.
I'm roaming the hills, looking for my son's remains. Only a crazy person would do something like that.
Or a mother.
I'm not a mother anymore.
Mrs. Livingston.
Talk to us. Please.
Yes,
Tell us what
your story.
Yes. Tell us what you were doing, what had happened.
We need to hear it. And we need to tell our story too.
7 years ago, life as we knew it came to an end, and we are still suffering.
I was in the kitchen. I was baking a pie for Adam. A pumpkin pie to welcome him home. The TV was on it. I watch while I'm cooking, and it was tuned to a soap opera. All of my children. The couple was fighting because the woman was pregnant and she wanted to get an abortion. Don't be a fool, I told the lady, have the baby. I sprinkle flour on the counter and I roll it out once in each direction, like this, the way my mother taught me. And then suddenly Ted Koppel came on the air. And I know immediately something is wrong because you only hear Ted Koppel's voice at night, never during the day. He said, we interrupt this program. And I thought, oh dear, something awful must have happened. What a shame. So close to Christmas. I rolled the crust, and he said,
Pan Am 103.
and the pie dough stick to the rolling pin?
Pan Am 103 was last seen in a fireball over Lockerbie, Scotland.
And I doubled over, and my face sunk into the kitchen counter, and the pie dough was cold on my nose and cheek. And I couldn't stand, and so I reached for something to hold on to, and my arm hit the flour bin, and it crashed to the floor, and the flour was all over my hands and feet. And so I reached for the handle on the refrigerator to pull myself up. And there, in front of me was a note. And it said, Adam, JFK, 7 p.m., Pan Am 103. This was not supposed to happen to me.
You think the worst can't happen.
You think that it won't?
But one day it does.
The poor soul on the television is suddenly you.
And the faraway disaster lies on the flour on your kitchen floor.
Here, let's light our candles, shall we? I brought them from the church. We'll keep our vigil here, together, in the place where your son died.
No. Lighting candles will bring me no comfort.
I could use the comfort of a candle.
I could too.
Mr. Livingston.
Please.
Death is a guest whose visit's short. When it comes to your house, it never stays.
Just pokes its head in the door to drop something off.
And? Well,
It's gone. But grief.
grief is a guest who stays too long. Its visit turns from days
Into weeks. Into months.
into years.
It takes over your house and will not leave.
Whatever you do, it watches.
It hovers behind you, looking over your shoulder so you can't forget that it's there.
Yes.
I was driving to the petrol station.
I was walking the dog.
I was baking a pie, just like your wife.
And then suddenly, the sky turned red. The ground shook.
The pie fell.
The tree at the end of the lane burst into flames.
I ran to the door.
I slammed on the brakes.
I turned and looked. My neighbor's rose garden was on fire. 7 wee buds of flames where the flowers should have been.
I ran out the house, and there, on the hill, was a suitcase. A red suitcase sitting there as if someone had set it down.
Gordon McPherson was kneeling in the streets holding the body of his daughter. His wife was beside him, putting fists into her eyes.
When I got to my house, the lights were still on, but the roof was gone. I unlatched the gate, stepped into the yard, and someone yelled,
Don't go in there!
but I didn't listen. I had to see what had happened. In my living room was a pile of bodies.
71 bodies still strapped to their seats.
Suddenly there's helicopters and police sirens. Down Lockerbie Lane.
And up above,
Bells were playing.
letters from mailbags from the clouds.
We saw the wreckage.
The things they couldn't show on TV.
We saw the bodies.
And the body parts.
Strewn like litter across the streets.
We saw the faces.
Oh God, the faces.
The faces of the dead.
Some had been asleep when it happened. Their faces were peaceful.
But others were awake, their faces frozen in horror and disbelief.
They knew.
Yes, they knew.
You could tell. They knew what was happening. We live in Lockerbie.
Lockerbie, Scotland. A teeny little town with rolling green hills.
North of the Solway, first in the Dumfries region, in the Scotland lowlands.
Where the Annan River meets the Kinnell and the Mulford.
But not exactly.
No, not exactly. We're off the side of it, off the beaten path. Far away from the troubles of the world.
Troubles just doesn't come to Lockerbie, Scotland.
There's nothing for it to do here, except graze with the sheep and take tea in the afternoon.
But one day,
Yes, one day, in an instant.
In a blink of an eye, a twist of fate rained metal on our roofs.
the fog that clung to our gentle hills turned to smoke, and the rain that fell from our clouds turned to blood.
Mr. Livingston.
Are you all right?
We've upset you.
No. No, I didn't know. That's all.
I never should have let him study in London. He was much too young. Much too young to go so far from home. I should have made him wait a year. I should have said, no, you cannot go. Why didn't I say that? I could have let him stay an extra day with his friends. But I said, no, I want you home for Christmas. I want you home for the party. Your father has a bad back and he needs you to help him hang the lights. And why did I plan this party for Friday? If I had planned the party for Saturday, then he would have come home a day sooner, and he never would have died. Yes, because if I had planned the party for Saturday, then he never would have died.
Maddie. Saturday was Christmas Eve. Remember, we never had the party on Christmas Eve. We always had it the day before.
You can have a party on Christmas Eve.
Yes, but we never did that.
I could have said, no, you can stay in London. I could say, yes, you can come home whenever you want.
Maddie, you let him go because you loved him. And you had him come home because you missed him.
I could have hung the Christmas lights myself.
I wouldn't have let you. Maddie, this didn't happen because of you. Get a hold of yourself. Maddie! Sweetheart, please.
Life is made of choices. Hundreds of little choices that determine your fate, each with a consequence you cannot see.
You check the box for Delta and your son lives.
You check the box for Pan Am and he dies.
Choices.
Such little choices.
That create such big results.
Sometimes I wonder if the choices you make are yours at all.
Or if they're made by something else. Something like God.
Aye, it seems these things are fated.
Fated. Yes, meant to happen.
And sometimes it seems that they're not. Sometimes it seems that they're not meant to happen, they just do. And they happen for no reason.
If I ever meet his killers, I'll kill them. No, I'll more than kill them. I will torment them. I will inflict on them the measure of pain that they've brought me.
Maddie!
They should suffer. At the very least, their suffering should equal the suffering they've caused.
Maddie, you can't repay endless suffering.
Yes, you can. And do you know how? With endless pain. And let me tell you, pain is a gentle word to describe what I would do to them if I got the chance. I would bind their hands and feet with wire. I would grind cigarettes into their eyes. I would cut them with
Madeline,
knives.
stop! What's gotten into you? This is a vigil. We came here to find peace.
I want justice. I will not find peace until I find justice.
That's not justice, that's revenge.
Those men killed your son! They killed 207 70 people. They ruined our lives.
Yes.
How can you be so calm?
Because rage won't bring him back. Maddie, sometimes bad things happen, but Maddie, life's not fair. And sometimes you just need to accept that and then move on.
Move on? To what is there in a day that is worth moving on to? Breakfast? Lunch, dinner, talking on the phone? No! I don't know how anyone could move on after something like this.
I moved on.
Well, that's because you didn't love him as much as I did.
Maddie.
If you had, you wouldn't have gotten over it so fast.
Maddie, that's not true. You know that's not
You
true.
cleaned out his room and you gave away his belongings.
I did that to help you.
Just go on as if nothing has happened.
What am I supposed to do? Come home from work and weep on the couch, just like you?
You didn't cry at the funeral! You didn't cry when you got the news! You didn't cry at
How
all!
could I, Maddie? I mean, what am I supposed to do? I had to talk to the neighbors. I had to talk to the reporters who stood on our lawn taking pictures of my grief. I had to take his Christmas presents back to the mall because you couldn't stand the sight of them under the tree. I mean, can you imagine what that was like? Try just for a moment. What do you say to the sales clerk? What do you say to that 16-year-old schoolgirl sitting behind the counter at JCPenney's who smiles and asks, "Why are you returning the sweater, sir?" I mean, do you tell her? Yeah, this was for my son, but he died. The plane he was taking home for Christmas crashed. He was blown to bits by a bomb. What do you say? What do you say to that little young schoolgirl with green and red ribbons in her hair? I just looked at her and I said, "My son." I cannot tell her. No, because to do so would be taking her innocence from the world. So I look at her and I said, "My son." My son doesn't need this anymore. And then I take a sigh of relief because I think that it's over, but no, she smiles and asks, "Would you like to exchange it for something else?" I mean, would I like to exchange it for... How I would love to exchange it for something else, but I say no. Your store doesn't carry what I want or need right now. And then I go to the next store to return the Nikes. And then the next store to return the pajamas. And then the next store to return the bathrobe and the bike helmets and the blue jeans. Yeah, I go to 6 stores before the day is through and have the same conversation with every single, she's right. I didn't show my grief. I couldn't. I had to keep myself numb just to get through it. Madeline!
There's an order in the world, an order behind all the chaos and the violence. And there is the purpose?
Yes. The
sun never sets, we would find no beauty in the sunrise.
And if the night was full of light, we would not see the stars.
And if hatred never pierced our hearts, we would not know the power of love. Though the reason is never made fully clear.
They are given to us so we may learn and grow.
And no one is given a burden they're unable to bear.
You have to trust in this.
Trust in the strength of love to overcome this awesome power of hatred.
Trust.
Yes, trust.
And believe that behind the suffering of the world, there is a purpose to everything.
I want to believe that. Trust me, I want anything to believe that Adam died for a reason. But I can't. To think that Adam died just so that I could learn and grow would mean that I am the center of the universe, and that is not how things work. The events of this world, the horrors, they just happen. And they happen for no reason. If there is a God, and sometimes when I lay in bed alone at night, I think that there isn't. But if there is, then he is absent from this world, and he pays no attention to the minds of men.
Olive, love, are you all right?
His words leave me with nothing to hold on to. My faith is broken. It's hanging by a thread. Oh, how easily my faith is broken.
It breaks often, my faith.
I lose it too at night when I lie in bed.
I lie awake at night too.
Funny. The world won't let you keep your faith, but it won't let you lose it either.
No, so what do you do?
I bake scones,
I clean the house. My house has been spotless for the last 7 years.
and I always bake extra so I can give them to other people.
I'm going to the warehouse. I've got to get the clothes. I have to find a way out of this dark valley before the night is through.
Damn it! Damn it, those damn women! Jesus H. Christ! Reporters! They sent in the reporters!
Oh my, Hattie! You're such a fool! Grab your mop and not your coat! You're gonna freeze to death, you are! Let me suppose Mr. Jones goes back to the warehouse quickly. What in the devil is he doing out here? Roaming the hills? Perhaps he's had a change of heart and came out here to have a think on it.
Hattie? Hattie! What are you doing out here?
I'm just cleaning up a little bit, Mr. Jones.
Hattie, you're mopping the grass.
Aye, sir, it's gotten very muddy from the rains. I thought if I attacked the problem at the source, I could cut down on mud being tracked across your office floors.
You followed me out here, didn't you?
Why, Mr. Jones, I wouldn't dream of doing such a thing.
Oh, you've been spying on me ever since I got here. Always swishing your mop outside my door, listening to my conversations.
I swished my mop to clean up the mud you track on your floors, sir.
Do you remember the oath you signed with the American government, Hattie?
Oh, sir?
When you took this job?
Aye, sir, I seem to recall some sort of paper.
Yeah. In that paper, there was a provision for spying. Did you read it?
Oh, no. You see, Mr. Jones, I don't read.
Oh, you don't read, huh?
Nope, just a cleaning woman, sir. All I know how to do is mop floors.
Oh, then what are those books you boys got in your pockets?
Books, sir?
Yeah, books.
Oh, the books! They're just picture books.
Oh, they're not picture books. They're romance novels. And I see you sneak into the broom closet to read them. And I hear you sighing in there when you do.
I do not sigh, sir.
Oh, you sigh. You sigh for the romance when you read those books.
No, sir, you're wrong. I do not sigh. I weep. And not for the romance, but for the lack of it.
Weep, sigh, it's all the same to me. But you read. And I know you read that provision because I saw you read it.
No, sir, I was just moving my eyes.
Oh. Do you know what Washington does to spies, Hattie?
No.
They put them in jail.
Oh.
Take this as a warning. Stop spying, or I'll have Washington put you in jail.
Hello.
Hello?
No!
Oh, Hattie.
He's gonna put me in jail!
Oh, no, I'm not.
Who's going to put you in jail?
Mr. Jones!
Mr. Jones.
No.
The Mr. Jones.
You've heard of me?
Yes, I've heard all about you. The women talk about you.
Oh, no. Are you a reporter?
No, I'm a tourist.
Oh. What are you doing here?
I'm visiting my son for the holidays.
Oh, well, don't listen to what those women say about me. They got it all wrong.
And I say, sir, the women have got it right. He's a bully, he is.
Nah.
He ought to be ashamed of himself, picking on an old woman like me.
Hattie, no, I would never.
He was picking on me, sir. Just before he got here, he chased me over that hill.
None of that's true now.
It is true, sir. Him, a full-grown man chasing me, an old woman.
Oh, no.
And then scaring me half to death by threatening to put me in jail.
No, I'm not gonna put you in jail, Hattie.
Right then, now that that's settled, I'll be on my way.
Wait, where are you going?
Back to the warehouse, sir?
Stay out of my office, Hattie.
But, sir, there's mud in your
I
office.
want you to
don't
stay out of my office, Hattie. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may leave. Let me give you a piece of advice on the women of Lockerbie. Don't be fooled by the lace on their collars or the flowers on their teacups. They're tigers, and they're ferocious. Do you know what they just did? They called in the television crews, the reporters. There's 200 of them waiting by the warehouse for a statement from me. That's not all. They have candles. They're trying to make Lockerbie into an international incident, those women.
I thought Lockerbie was already an international incident.
Lockerbie? Hardly. They forgot about Lockerbie 2 weeks after the crash. But if they get it in the news, then it might just be.
You don't like it here.
What's there to like? Lockerbie is the Siberia of the State Department. Me? I'd rather be someplace else, Tel Aviv, the hot spots. And if I play my cards right, I just might get there.
Then why are you doing the business with the clothes, if I might ask?
I have orders from Washington. They want things wrapped up here, and quickly. So that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, it's been 7 years since the crash. Get over it! Get a life. I mean, and that's what I tell them, and it only makes them worse. They sent the mayor to see me. They sent the bishop, for God's sakes! Next, they'll probably send in the mother. The mothers are the worst. They're always coming here clutching the baby pictures. Little Johnny smiling with the 7-year braces. Little Johnny blowing out his birthday candles. I tell ya, the mothers are the worst. There's always a mother who makes it impossible to do your job.
And the fathers?
Well, men are different. Can always reason with a man, thank God. At least they don't come in shoving those pictures in my face. What do you have there?
It's a picture of my son in 6th grade, with a mouth full of braces.
Was your son, on board?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
And, here. It's a ticket stub from the Yankees game that I took him to on his last birthday. It's funny, I just found this in the pocket of my coat while I was on my way up here.
Well, hey. Your son was a Yankees fan. Hell of a team, I might add.
Yes. Do you have children?
Nah, I don't have a wife. Well, I had one. 2, actually, but never got around to having kids.
Yes. Then it might be hard for you to understand the loss that a parent feels.
They say there's nothing worse.
They're right. Do you see that hill?
Yeah?
My wife's on the other side of it.
You're kidding.
No.
Doing what?
Looking for my son's remains.
Women!
It's not just woman. Men feel pain too.
But not like that.
No, not like that. I guess that's true. The women have to feel the pain for the men and themselves, because the men don't show it. It's quite unfair now that I think about it. When Adam died, I cut off the pain. It was only when I was coming up here and I found this ticket stub that I felt something for the first time in years.
You did, huh?
Mr. Jones, this slip of paper, it's not just a slip of paper. It has power. It has life. So do those clothes. Please, reconsider your decision. Release the clothes
I
to the woman.
can't do that, sir.
Mr. Livingston! Mr. Livingston!
Who's that?
The woman.
Oh, crap. I gotta go.
Mr. Jones!
Oh, Mrs. Allison, hello.
Hello.
What are you doing out here in the middle of the night, Mrs. Allison?
I could ask the same for you.
Suppose you could?
So what are you doing here, Mr. Jones?
Just getting some fresh air. And you?
I'm looking for you.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Mr. Jones,
Got an appointment, Mrs. Allison.
it's the middle of the night.
Not in Washington, as a matter of fact.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Jones.
Not in Washington, as a matter of fact.
Why are you afraid of me?
I'm not afraid of you, Mrs. Allison. I'm simply in a rush to get back to the warehouse to handle the situation.
Oh, there are many situations
I'm
here, Mr.
talking
Jones.
about the situation with the women and the candles. Very well done, I might add, but it won't work.
Did you think you could burn the clothes and not have anyone notice?
I didn't think it would turn into an international incident, if that's what you mean.
Mr. Jones, please,
Oh, Mrs.
I'm
Allison,
begging.
please get up. Please,
Don't
Mrs.
burn the
Allison.
clothes. The families need them.
Whoa,
we
whoa.
need them.
Mrs. Allison, please. Please, get up. I would like to release the clothes. Really, I would, but I can't. They're contaminated.
How can they be contaminated? It's been 7 years.
They've been sealed in evidence bags since the crash. They've never been washed.
We'll wash them.
I can't let you do that.
And why not?
Because whenever there's an incident at altitude...
I'm sorry, what?
An incident at altitude?
A plane crash.
Involving an American aircraft outside of the United States. There are certain policies that must be used for disposal and containment. I can't make an exception.
You can always make an exception, Mr. Jones.
That's right. The State Department allows for exceptions too. It says so right here in the regulations.
I thought you said you couldn't read, Hattie.
I lied.
Look, the regulations don't apply here. This is a foreign policy matter. Every action must be weighed on a different set of criteria and justified.
Well, Mr. Jones, that's no problem. We have the perfect justification.
Oh, and what's that?
Love.
Ladies, I can't use love as a justification.
And why not, Mr. Jones? It's the perfect reason.
Excuse me for being blunt, but you are all getting way too wrapped up in your emotions to see the bigger picture here. I have a responsibility to reduce the trauma that has already come onto this community, to look out for its welfare, for your welfare.
The Scottish people are quite capable for looking out for their own welfare, Mr. Jones. We don't need you or the American government to do that for us.
This is why no one likes Americans, sir. You think you know what's best for everybody.
The American government should have no say about what happens over here.
Ladies, the bomb was an attack on the American government. We have everything to say about it. Look, let me spell it out for you. You all are getting too wrapped up in your emotions to see the big picture. The clothes are not a pretty sight. They're covered in blood. A lot of blood. Blood from 270 Americans. And that's not all. Guts. Can't let you see them. I can't let anyone see them. Trust me, it'll make you sick just to look at them.
Mr.
They
Jones,
made me sick.
you seem to forget that we were here too when the plane crash occurred. We have seen things far worse than those clothes.
I found a woman's hand and a child's leg in my garden. I picked them up with my own 2 hands as I carried them down to the morgue.
You did?
Yes,
Everyone did.
You were all very brave. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Sure you would have, Mr. Jones. You would find the strength to do what you have to do.
I still have families to think about. They haven't seen what you've seen. The plight of the clothes, washed or unwashed, could be devastating.
Why don't you let the families decide for themselves?
I don't want to open up old wounds.
But you won't, you'll heal them.
That's where you and I disagree. In my opinion, to close a wound, you have to leave it alone. I know that's what you don't want to hear, but that's just the way it is.
But Mr. Jones...
I've made my decision. Hattie,
Yes, sir?
if you want to keep your job, I expect to see you back at the warehouse.
Yes, sir.
But Mr. Jones... Mr. Jones!
Mom, let him go. His mind is... You can't change it.
Men like that...
You've done everything you could.
Not everything. We can always just take them.
You mean the clothes?
Yes,
How do we do that?
it'll be easy. I'll let you in through the back door where there isn't a guard.
Hattie, there are 11,000 pieces of clothing.
Yeah, we can carry 11,000 pieces of clothing.
Oh, of course we can, darling.
How?
Because there'll be 200 of us carrying them. I'm gonna let the women inside too, in front of the cameras and the reporters.
Hattie, they'll be arrested.
Yes, we all will. But the clothes won't be burned. Not if the telly shows 200 women being carted off to jail for wanting to do the laundry.
That's right. Come on, let's go.
We need you to stay here.
But Hattie,
We need you to talk to the reporters.
Adam!
We best be off.
But Hattie,
I hope that all this works out.
I hope so too.
Adam! They're gone. Gone. They lit their candles and went back to town. They've forgotten you, Adam. Just like this world has forgotten, but I remember. I remember how quickly you passed. 1 minute here, next there. Living. Dead.
What is she doing?
Living. Dead. What was it like to be dead? What was it like to cross the line and pass to the other side? What were you doing? Were you drinking a Coke or having a nice conversation with the woman beside you? Miss Corcoran. Yes, she was a teacher at Syracuse University. What were you saying to her? Were you talking about college or Christmas or changing your major to math? And what did you do the moment it happened? Did you hold on to the armrest and close your eyes and pray, or did it happen too fast for any of that? And what happened next, Adam? Where did you go? You must be somewhere. You must be someplace.
Maddie.
I thought you were gone.
No, I'm still here.
Leave me alone.
I found something of Adam's.
What is it?
It's a ticket stub from the Yankees game I took him to on his last birthday.
Where did you find this?
Just now in the pocket of my coat.
There's only one. There should be two.
Well, I only found this one.
If you found it in your coat pocket, then it's yours and it's not Adam's.
Well, yes.
I
but-
only want something of Adam's.
Gosh, you're stubborn!
Let go of me!
Why do you hold on to your grief so hard?
It's the only thing I have left to hold on
You
to.
have me! Hold on to me!
I don't want you!
Mrs. Livingston, don't turn your hatred towards your husband.
You stay out of this!
He's all you have left.
Who are you?
I'm only trying to help.
I don't want your help.
You need help.
You don't know what I need!
Yes, I do.
Go away.
No.
You have no idea what I've been through. No, you did not lose a son in the crash!
No, but I lost a daughter and a husband. Your son's plane fell on my farm and killed my family. My husband is dead. My daughter is dead. A plane full of Americans killed everyone I love. I hate Americans. And you started this whole thing, you know. Oh, you bombed that passenger jet from Iran, and Lockerbie was just the revenge for that. Oh, and you probably didn't even know about it. You were probably too busy baking your pies to pay any attention. Oh, I hate you! I hate you for this! No! Where are the clothes I need to wash?
Clothes.
From the crash.
There are clothes
Yes, but we don't have them.
We got all the way to the warehouse.
all the way to the shelves of Sorrel.
But then we were caught.
They let us go, but Hattie's been detained. And that's not all. The fuel trucks have arrived.
Fuel trucks. They're starting the incineration now. They're burning the clothes tonight.
No. What happened? Mr. Livingston, where are you going?
I'm going back to the hotel, unpacking my things. I'm leaving.
But why?
Your wife will need you when she gets back.
No, she won't! She doesn't want me anymore. She doesn't love me anymore. In fact, she hates me. And what's worse, I hate her too.
Of course you do. It's only natural.
Natural to hate my wife?
You have to hate someone. Mr. Livingston. Hatred is love that is injured. If you have hate in your heart, you have love in it also. Your hatred will again turn to love, and so will your wife too when she heals.
She won't heal. She refuses to.
She will. You just have to wait.
I've been waiting for 7 years.
Maybe waiting's not enough. Maybe you need to do something more.
Like what?
Like grieve. You didn't let yourself grieve.
Yes, if you let yourself grieve, then maybe you let your wife heal herself.
Here, sit down. Hey, sit with us, please. Mr. Livingston, don't go back to the hotel. Your wife may not need you right now, but we do.
You do?
Yes, we are frightened.
What the things we have seen tonight.
How
Walked
neatly.
through the wreckage past the metal.
When we entered the shelves with stuff from the cabin, I cried.
I did too. How neatly everything is stacked on the shelf of Sorrel.
So orderly and arranged.
Everything marked with a number.
Mr. Livingston, trust. Have to trust this. You don't have any word on where Hattie is? Or Mrs. Livingston?
Hattie! Hattie, what happened?
Your wife, Mr. Livingston, it's your wife. She's gone wild. What? Your wife, when she arrived at the warehouse, Olive was with her. And when they saw the fuel trucks there, they fell to their knees and they began to wail. The women joined them too, all of them kneeling and wailing until the night sky was filled with the cries of the women of Lockerbie. The fuel truck stopped and Mr. Jones stepped out and ordered them to begin, but they didn't. He ordered them again, but the drivers got out of their cars and locked arms and refused to move. I saw your wife and Olive wailing and kneeling on the ground. He walked over to them, pulled the key out of his pocket, and together they led 200 women into the warehouse. But your wife, she couldn't find anything of Adam's. She checked everywhere, even the unmarked, staring into every bag. And when she couldn't find anything, she took her nails and dug them into her arms and chest until they bled.
There is nothing
of atoms left on the shelves of sorrow.
We've been closing after all this time. I've been trying to turn their hatred into love, but the hatred I needed to turn was my own. I guess evil has triumphed here after all. Mrs. Livingston, you're bleeding. You need to wash.
I want my body to be a monument so that people can see what happened to my son.
Well, your son deserves a better monument than that. Just as a heart full of hatred was not worthy of my husband or daughter. Mrs. Livingston, we're going to wash the clothes. To make our hearts pure again. That will be our monument to those who have died here. Will you join us?
This is your son's. I found it in the luggage. I thought you should have it. Mrs. Allison. Hate will not have the last word in Lockerbie.
Would you like to help me open it, Bill?
Yes, Maddie. I think we need to do that. Look, it's a shirt from when he was back home with us.
Look at this thing, so ratty and full of holes. I told him not to take this to London.
Oh, and look inside. His name. You would always put his name on everything.
He always got so mad when I did that.
And here, a shirt that he got while he was in London.
Look.
He put his name on this one too.